It's April, and let's talk about what I painted during the month of March. So welcome to my hobby vlog number 130. We have had a massive amount of progress. We painted a lot of non-hero models last month. We painted 72 Rohan Warriors on foot and 36 Rohan Riders. So it was time to paint heroes. Now, I didn't finish everything I wanted to finish due to time constraints, but I did finish quite a lot. We had a bit of a time crunch to paint up models for the Charge of the Rohirrim from Gondor at War. So my efforts were to paint up the heroes needed. And I'll explain a bit later what I didn't finish. But here they are, all the heroes and some big models I painted in March. So first up we have Deorwine. Painted him up first. There was the first model finished in March. He was started in the late February, but yeah, he's finished. Quite a fun model to paint. Used up a lot of different types of greens. Generally, same kind of painting as I did for the riders. But of course, being in character, a bit more effort was put into him. Next up was Elfhelm, being the second character that only had one sculpt on foot and one sculpt on horse needed to be done. Pretty satisfying model to paint as well. I did have some issues though, because I was looking through the bag where I have all the pieces of the model, and yeah, his the mounted model's left arm was missing. So I had a quick look through the STF archives and I found my unboxing video of this model, and lo and behold, the bit was there, but not when I looked for him. So after a bit of asking the community if they had spares, I contacted GW, asked them if I could at all get a spare. I did. I was honest and said I probably lost it somehow. And I did end up just buying a whole new pack. So I now have another Elfhelm model without its arm. But yeah, again, painted up the horse first and did the rest because I hate painting horses. And yeah, it's quite a cool looking model, and I'm pretty happy with it. So from uncle to niece, we have Eowyn. So Eowyn, we painted up every single Eowyn sculpt, including Dunhelm. I have, however, found a gap. I don't have Eowyn on foot with throwing spear, and there is a lack of shield on the mounted models. But yeah, these are two of the plastic kits and the remaining sculpts, including the both sculpts from Death of Gothmog and from the Final Fate of the Witch King. So yeah, I'm happy with how these turned out. These were the first big batch I produced this month after finishing Alfhelm and Derwine. But yeah, these are lovely models, I must say. The plastic ones lack a bit of detail here and there when comparing it to the metal models, although they do have a bit more clarity in the armor patterns. But besides that, excellent models. So, Theoden. Theoden was a big project because I literally painted up every single sculpt of Eomer, including 2 of the plastic ones mounted and 2 plastic ones foot, because I wanted both options with and without the helmet. There is one Theoden model that isn't included here because I painted him before, and that's the unarmored version on horse. I'm still looking for a unarmored version on foot, a conversion or a sculpt that is identical to the horse model. But so far I haven't found one. So if you do have any tips about that, just let me know. But yeah, this is the original Theoden model mounted. We have the foot models from Return of the King. We have the newer metal models released, and the face detailing on these are absolutely insane. The sculpts are magnificent, to say the least. So yeah, the plastic ones do have good face detailing, but it isn't even close to the original metal sculpt. So I'm pretty happy that I feel I made the faces justice in this. Some fiddly bits, but yeah, I did paint them all in a single batch. The horses first, and then the rest. So yeah, these are really cool. I'm very happy that I now have every single released sculpt of Theoden painted. And finally, for the Rohan side, we have Pippin. No, not Pippin, Merry. So I have painted up the metal versions of Merry in Rohan Garb, but I did that when I painted up every single Sculpt for Fellowship models. But I haven't painted up the plastic version as it was released later on, and yeah, I did now, and a lovely little model to paint. I painted up this model at the same time as I painted up the mounted version for the Dernhelm sculpt. That is removable, so I can remove Merry from the Dernhelm model. But now, from the smallest sculpt to perhaps the largest sculpt I've painted in years. Next up we have Eomer, and this was the last bit of Rohan I painted up. And sadly, on my painting table at the moment, there is a lot of Rohan miniatures yet to finish. So, of course, I wanted to paint Westfold Red Shields, I wanted to paint Grimbold, Grimbold's Helmingus, I wanted to paint up the Royal Guards. I had 50 models, Royal Guard, 25 on foot and 25 on horse. And I did want to paint up the Scouts, but Outriders, sorry. But I am left with a ton of Eomer models, not finished painted. They're not missing a lot. All the horses are done. The majority of the armor is done, and the skin is done. It's basically the red detailing on the armor and the leather straps and the hair and stuff. But there is 13 of them, 12 of them, so it's going to take some time to finish. And I do have plenty of other models that needs to finish before that. So so this is the only pair I did finish. I haven't looked at all the scenarios yet. I might have to paint up one without the throwing spear, foot mounted, for some scenario, but I'll have a quick look at that when I have the chance. So yeah, that's the airman models I got done. Thundering over the battlefield, we have not one but 3 Mumuks ready for the Grand Campaign. We have been very fortunate to be lent Mumuks before by a lovely top patron pair, but we needed a war leader, and I had already assembled my Mumuks, so it was only making the bases, because I do not like casualties on bases. So the bases for these are basically just taking a Dremel to the original Mumuk base, removing all the different like big piles of corpses and stuff like that, and then just tossing a lot of PVA glue and sand over it. That's the general gist of it. And yeah, I think it fits quite nicely. Desert bases for the first time in however long. I'm not making snowy, rime-ridden frost bases, but yeah, I couldn't really paint anything other than desert bases on my Harad models. So yeah, 3 of them not converted. I do have 2 more Mimics that will be converted at some point. But yeah, I did a bit of war paint on one of them as well, plus the war leader, of course. And I tried to be as close to the example picture as possible for the war Mimic, for the war leader Mimic. But other than that, they are pretty close to the original source, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with my efforts on these. We are being lent the Rohan Warriors to go into the Howders and stuff like that, and I do have an entire Mahud army. So, and yeah, the Mahud were painted in the same vein as my existing Mahud. I'm kind of regretting it, because the reds and the blues kind of clash, but I'm not completely sure. One model I did not regret to paint is the next one, and last one of the month. So lastly this month is my Haradrim Raza, and this is an absolutely beautiful sculpt. To my dread, I found out that there's 2 face options in the blister pack. I didn't even remember that, and that means I might have to purchase another one to satiate my insane completist attitude. But I did find this version of the sculpt with the bandana to be the best one, at least for me. So yeah, painted up as my Harad would be, with black and beige as the main colours, and I'm very satisfied with how this turned out. Quite a cool model as well, so it helps definitely. Painted up in about an evening, and that's basically it for this month. So my pardon for the dog. So my final count for total models of finished models for so far this year, after 3 months, is 148. And that's a result I'm pretty happy with, especially since my next batch of models is pretty huge. So for April, although it will be hampered with me being away for a week and a half, will be pretty epic. So what I want to finish is doing here with the 2 command models for the Black Root Vale archers, plus 12 Black Root Vale archers using the Ranger models. And then I want to paint up King of the Dead, Heralds of the Dead, and Warriors of the Dead, and Riders of the Dead. Now I do have 18 Riders of the Dead, and my well, I have 22, but 18 is a better number. And then my goal is to paint up 6 of every sculpt of the army. So that is 6 of each of the 6 metal models, 6 of each of the 10 plastic models, and then I do have 6 sprues of the transparent models as well. For the King of the Dead and the Heralds, there probably will be 3 or 4 of each. So the Heralds will be plastic ones on foot, the transparent plastic ones on foot, and I want to convert up a mounted model as well for each of them, for using in battle companies and fun stuff like that. For the King, there will be the Old King on horse, new plastic on foot, transparent plastic on foot, and then a conversion with a new plastic on horse. So there will be a number of King of the Dead, 5 in total. I also have to paint up Eladan El Rohir, so that's 6 models, the unarmored versions on foot, plus the armored on horse and on foot. And then we have Halbarad with the banner, plus the Golden King, 12 Abrakan Guard. So that is my... So I do have these listed in priority, so it's doing it on the Black Root Vale archers first, followed by the Army of the Dead, followed by the Ranger stuff, and then the rest of this is for the big battle. So for the giant battle we're going to do, I would need Golden King, Abrakan Guard, I need more Mahut Raiders, I need to finish my canned army for this. And I do need a captain and a banner of Dol Amroth on foot for the Black Gate scenarios. And that's basically it for the rest of the Return of the King portion of the campaign that I need to paint. Ton of models, but then again, Army of the Dead shouldn't be that much of an issue. And then just to give you a sneak peek for the rest of the year, when I finish these things, my efforts will then be onto Ruffians, then the new Ruffian heroes, the Hobbit heroes I haven't finished, there's quite a lot of them, the new forge-old ones. And then it's basically a finishing story for the rest of the year. So I need to finish my Bjornings. I didn't finish those. If I don't finish my canned for the big battle, then I need to finish my canned. I have some Gladrim I want to do justice on. I have some Ents, like 2 of the new plastic tree bed, and as well as quick beam. I do have some Rohan models that I already explained, including like a couple of banners and the Royal Guards and stuff like that. I do have a Dale army to finish, the Iron Hills army I need to finish. At this point, I've done everything for fiefdoms except Imrahil and the Knights, so I might as well do those. I have some Dunland to finish, some Isengard scouts to do. And after that, it's prepping for if we restart the campaign with Last Lines and Mordor. And me taking the reins in this hypothetical scenario for starting the campaign again for the good side. That means yeah, I am playing good, which means painting a lot of high elves. So that's basically my painting schedule for the rest of the year. And if I do manage my goal of 1,058 models, I'm gonna be pretty chuffed. But I do not think that it's probably going to be closer to 600 or 700 if I continue on the pace I am at right about now. But we'll see. So that's it for the March recap of my hobby progress. Please join us for April. This is going out late because I didn't finish the hobby vlog before I went on military exercises. So yeah. Normally I schedule my my hobby vlogs to be launched on the first Wednesday of every month, but it's a week late this time. But by the by, things happen. So yeah, thank you for watching. Until next month, I've been Andreas, Norwegian Viking, and this was my hobby vlog number 130. Please comment, like, share and subscribe, and do consider supporting our efforts at the studio on Patreon using the link in the description below. It is a great way for you to support our efforts at the studio, and it gives us the monetary means to do cool stuff. So thank you so much for our past, present and future patrons, and as always, support your hobby.